Hello, YouTubers. How's everybody today? Um, I came on to discuss the fact of why so many black women are single. Well, I don't profess to know the reasons per se. However, I've spoken to a few, well, more than a few. And the one thing that they've all stated is that uh, the lack of black men that really has nothing to offer them financially, and they're not ready to commit to having a viable relationship. You know, if you have 10 black men in a room, for instance, um, 7 of them are probably married and are having numerous affairs. And they have numerous nurseries and baby mama dramas. Okay. The other 3, 2 is probably gay or on the download, and 1 is probably single. And he definitely does not want to have any commitment because it's going to clash with his agenda of being able to pick and choose as many women as he wants, whether they're black women, white women, Asians, whatever. So, you know, in my opinion, it just behooves black women, educate yourself, get a career, and get a wonderful, well-paying position so that you have money. Money solves a lot of issues because when you have money, you're in a position to pick and choose who you want as a spouse, or maybe just a relationship, somebody to go to a movie and have some sex with once in a while. Does that mean that you won't be, continue that, blah, 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 excuse me. Does that mean you won't continue to be single? Of course not. It just means that you have a better financial situation for yourself, and you're in a better situation to also pick and choose the type of men or woman, if that's your taste, to get involved with. Plus, you can take care of yourself. You can have a nice car or cars, live in a nice place, area, have wonderful furniture, nice wine to drink, as I'm currently drinking right now. You can travel the world. You have more choices when you have money. And I don't believe that many black women realize that. Because as you get money, your prospects of everything will be altered. You have a broader range to choose from in everything in your life. You don't have to settle. For instance, I I overheard a conversation with 2 black women speaking, and one of them, she said to the other young woman, "Do you think I'd be living in the area I'm living in if I didn't have children?" Because if she was stating that if she was single without children, there are other things that she could do, other choices that she could have. But because she has children, and her career prospects are null and void because she's stuck in minimum wage jobs, her prospects are terrible. And I almost wanted to cry when I heard that, because she was a young woman. I'm an elder now, so It doesn't bother me. If I was young today, I'd be single. Well, I'm older and single, and that's okay. When you get older, you don't give a shit, because you already know that the pickings are slim. And if a dude is attracted to you when you're older, it's usually because they want money, or they want, they're looking for a mother figure to go take care of them. All right. Or they just want to have some fun for a while they're using you up. But when you're young, it's tough, because some of these men can woo you with a lie. And sadly, as human nature is, we want to believe the fantasy. But the problem is, the fantasy doesn't exist. You have to call it the way you see it. You have to admit to yourself that you chose unwisely. And you can't afford to waste your youth on a ship going nowhere. Because youth is fleeting, really fleeting. Before you can blow smoke through a keyhole, you can see yourself being 30, 40, 50, etc. And you wonder, where did the time go? A year goes by very quickly, aka a birthday. I recall when there were people, when I was, I think I was in my 50s, and they would tell me, oh, they're still young, or say that brag, or like they're only 19 or 20 or 25. And I'd look at them and I'd say, okay, you better enjoy it, because you only get 1 year for each age. And before you realize it, you're going to be up there in age with the rest of us. And you better hope and pray, if you happen to pray, or if you believe in God, or whatever the case is, Allah, whatever, that He'll grant you good health and give you some time before you look like an old fogey. Because there's a point when you get older, you don't have that look of youth anymore in your face. Some people can age very gracefully, and they still have that fresh youth in their face. But not everybody gets that. Especially if they're drinking and smoking, doing drugs, and just overall living a very hard life. And those are some of the vices of a hard life. And having multiple sexual partners, and going through a bunch of men or a bunch of women. That's a very hard life to live. And at some point, it catches up with a person. Personally, I've never done any of the above. Thank goodness. Once in a while I do have some wine, because I'm a really great connoisseur of wine. I love wine. I think as I've gotten older, I love wine even more. And I attend a few wine tasting events. Well, I used to. Since the pandemic, I really haven't. But I love wine. It makes me feel good. It makes me feel great. And then I can get on YouTube and run my mouth. And I enjoy social media immensely. I think social media is great. I love technology. My days of Star Trek. I love technology. I think technology is a wonderful thing. I miss my calling. I would have been a science officer if I'd had, the backing that most whites or even blacks may have financially. However, those were not the cards I was dealt. I've been on my own from 6 years old. And when my brother was alive, he was mentally challenged. I took care of him until he passed on at about 17. That was so many years ago now, reflecting back. Now I'm in my 60s, and it's glorious. You know, my children are adults, they're on their own, thank God. Hopefully they're taking care of themselves and not falling prey to the bullshit that's in the streets. In terms of, and when I say that, I'm not saying that they're running the street, but, you know, depending on the relationships that they choose to get involved with. But at this age, you know, I'm doing the things that I want to do. Because the fact is, when you have children, they tie your ankles. And of course, as they get older and they're on their own, they tie your heart because you're always worried about them. You can't help it. You just don't really show it, but you do worry. They're your children after all, and you love them. And you want them to be safe and secure. Always. Because we live in a life, we live in a world now, in a society where everything is fleeting, much more so than it used to be. There's no such thing as security. The best we can do is live our lives and strive to take care of ourselves the best way we can, and hope and pray that when we leave our homes safely, we arrive home safely. And our homes are also safe. We don't encounter uninvited guests. But in any case, I digress somewhat because I was also discussing black women. So that's my take. Black women should go to school, study something where you can always make a living. It can help you to take care of your children, yourself. Travel. See what the world is like. Not just by going online or reading books. And by the way, it's very, very good to read. I love to read. I think I read now more than when I was younger. Right now I go through about 2 books a week. I spend a lot of time being up late. Now that my living situation has been altered. But it's usually between 1 or 2 books a week, depending on the number of pages. And I do speed reading also. But I enjoy reading. When I was young, I used to love to read vampire books. Or these torrid love romances. Those are easy reads, because the imagination runs away with fantasy. But as I became more mature, I began to read more intellectual literature. And of course, my 3rd college degree was as an English major. You have to excuse me a little bit with my pronunciations because I've had a little bit of wine, and I'm probably slurring a bit. But in any case, my black women, just take care of yourselves, because you may have to reconcile yourselves that you may not find that relationship that you're looking for, especially with black men. You may have to seriously consider getting involved with other groups, or seriously consider aging by yourself. That's really the reality. Because if you're waiting for a black man, you'll be waiting forever. The few decent ones are already in various relationships. Not just that they're married, they have what they call a side chicks. And then you have a lot of men now that are on the down low, meaning they're gay. That's their preference. And I'm not bashing anybody that prefers the same gender. I'm just stating a fact. Whenever I attend the gym, I see it frequently. Um, and there are some black men in there, of course. They try to camouflage, but you can always spot it, especially when you're exposed to it daily. And black women, if you have girl children, you have to sit your girls and sit them down and have a serious and honest discussion with them about the possibility that they may have to step outside their comfort zone and get involved with other races of men, because they may not have the choice. Because waiting for a black man, a decent black man, there's a possibility that's not going to occur. This is 2021. As a black woman, you have to wake up. I don't include myself in this stuff I'm saying because I went to school. I had a career. I'm in my 60s now. I'm retired. I'm seriously considering re-entering the job market again, but the thing is, what would I like to do? I'm not sure. I don't want to digress again. In any case, as I was stating, you have to sit down with your girls and you have to have a serious talk. And you have to do it also with your boys, because you have to be careful that your boys aren't into don't get into a situation where they're turned out by incendiary people, scum, insidious devils out here. You really have to keep a tight leash on your children. And I don't mean to use the word leash as your children are dogs. They're not. But you have to keep an eye on your children, especially the times we live in. Children are still being missing, and supposedly nobody hears, sees, nothing. I don't know how that's possible, but, I think it's a lie, personally. People tend to see everything else, but they don't see anything when children are missing. Come on, who are we kidding? So, watch your children, take care of your children, love your children. They'll be with you for many, many years, decades. And assist them as best you can. And the best way you can assist them is making sure you take care of you, have a career that pays you well, and keep away from the scummy men. And as dark-skinned black women, we really have to work for that. We have to work to make sure we do that, because we don't deserve to be mistreated or taken advantage of by anybody. Just because we're black doesn't mean that you allow other black people to use or abuse you and take advantage of you. You have to move away from that. You have to see yourself as being a great person, a great woman that deserved the very, very best and nothing less. And leave the scum and the negative people way behind. Because as you climb in your mind to your goals and work towards your goals, there are going to be other black people that's going to be envious and jealous. And jealousy is worse than hate. So you have to be mindful of that. And then they may work towards trying to tear you down because they haven't uplifted themselves. They don't choose to. Some people are very happy being in the gutter. And they tell themselves, well, because I'm being true to the community and yada yada yada. Well, you help your community and you help yourself even more when you build your life up to do better. So, my dears, thank you for listening to me. I wasn't rambling. This is not a rant. What I'm stating is a true fact. And it's something I believe in. Whatever I state, it's my belief. I've I have lived a righteous life for myself. Not because I'm trying to please anybody or get accolades. I'm usually a loner. I've always been a loner. I'm good like that. I love being a loner. It serves me well. But everybody's not like me. In any case, have a good evening. Stay safe, warm and cuddly. And pick up some wine. Have a little wine every couple of days or so. It's nice to make a nice dinner and have some wine. Like one of my favorite meals is a vegetable salad. And I usually sprinkle a little vinaigrette on it. Oh my God, it's delicious. And I have some wine with it. Oh gosh, it's delicious. Oh my God. In any case, like and subscribe to my channel. I hope you do, because I need your help. I'd like it to grow, and I'm interested in your comments on, what I discuss. I know that there are people that may agree or disagree with me, and that's fine. That's okay. I can handle it. Even the so-called haters, I can handle that too. When you get to be my age, all of that stuff is minor detail. Because as you get older, you're getting closer to death. So you got bigger fish to fry than worried about haters. Okay. Have a good evening, as I stated previously. And thanks for listening. Like and subscribe again. And au revoir.